The Supreme Court bench has said that Patanjali has been stopped from advertising or branding products meant for treating diseases. Okay? So I'm not talking generally we are not talking about Patanjali toothpaste, but we are talking about various other things which Baba Ramdev does solidly promote publicly in advertising as if you take this, you will be cured. And these are serious ailments, chronic ailments. And, you know, many people who don't get cured from an allopathic route sometimes see these Patanjali products as a mix of Ayurvedic base and a lot of faith added to it. Right? But Ayurvedic practitioners don't put out advertisements saying that if you take this, you will be cured. They don't advertise it. People go for it voluntarily. They don't put out this misleading advertisement. You take this, your diabetes will go. You take this, your nerve issues will go. You take this, your liver issues will go. But the kind of claims that Baba Ramdev makes are very euphoric, very final. And there's a large number of people who may believe him. Right? That is the simple question.
Two submissions, Arnab.
We must address here.
Two submissions. One, 100 years back when the British were ruling us, they used to call us, India is the land of snake charmers and half-naked babas. From that age to an age where yoga is celebrated and accepted worldwide, including the UN, Ayurveda is celebrated and accepted worldwide, including every major nation. We have come a long way. I concede that the paradigms of allopathy and the paradigm of Ayurveda may be different. But Ayurveda is a part of India's heritage culture. We should value it. Now comes to the aspect of health, which you rightly mentioned. I personally have experienced great solace from Ayurveda. My family has experienced, and it has really cured my back pain, which was very serious, which the allopathy couldn't cure. I'm not saying everything is similar like this. But Ayurveda has a paradigm of its own. So we should not evaluate Ayurveda on allopathy.
Can I ask you one thing? Can I ask you one thing? Can I ask you, Rahul?
Please, sir,
Rahul,
please.
I believe Ayurveda is too deep, too much part of our knowledge base, too much in the history of our country. There are too many great practitioners who have contributed to Ayurveda, and I am also a believer in Ayurveda. Okay? Having said that, how do you equate Patanjali with Ayurveda?
Two things. Let us be fair to Sri Baba Ramdev.
How do you equate Patanjali with Ayurveda?
Because Baba Ramdev has been a champion of Ayurveda and yoga.
Please understand. No, Baba Ramdev can say I'm inspired by Ayurveda. No. He can say I'm inspired by Ayurveda. He can say I'm following what are Ayurvedic practices. Okay? But now we must understand this is a big business. And the business is making a claim that you will be cured of blood pressure. You will be cured of diabetes. You will be cured of arthritis. You will be cured of asthma. You will be cured of this. You will be cured of corona. In fact, he had made a claim that Coronil is effective against COVID. Okay. Now, the government later advised that this is not a cure. But at that point of time, people were so desperate. You were desperate. I was desperate. Many people who were buying Coronil did not look at it as Baba Ramdev's view that it is an immunity booster. I will take an amla, it will be an immunity booster. But people bought Coronil thinking it is a solution to COVID. That if you have Coronil, you will not get COVID.
It's an absolute given.
Mithun, am I right or wrong? At that time,
right, just one submission.
When you bought Coronil, if you bought Coronil, you said Baba Ramdev has told me that if I have Coronil, I will not get COVID.
And so it is an absolute given.
Am I
that
right
there
or
should
wrong?
Not be but there is right, but there is a catch. It's an absolute given.
No, you tell me first. No, it's about the claim. It's about the claim. Don't give me a catch.
You are right, but
don't give me a catch.
But there is a
person is saying, I am buying Coronil not because meri sehat achhi hogi. The person is buying Coronil because he's saying, if I take Coronil, I will not get COVID. Now, is that a true claim or a false claim?
There should not be any misleading thing.
Is that a true claim or a false claim?
But at the same point, there are grey areas. We shouldn't forget. There are grey areas. Even in US,
I can't hear you, Mithun. You have muted yourself.
Allopathy
grey area. No. If it's a grey area, then you can't make an absolute claim. I'm sorry, you cannot make an absolute claim out of a grey area. Mithun, you are muted. can you unmute yourself? I can't hear you. Mithun, unmute yourself. I can't hear you. Now you are saying grey area. But if I ask my viewers, yes, Mithun, go on.
So, sir, let me ask you a counter question here. Is allopathy taking 100% responsibility if something goes wrong, including the COVID vaccine? Actually, I see, there are hospitals putting up big hoardings about, cure for heart diseases, etc. Can they give a 100% guarantee? There is an article in Guardian that I read, recently that, two very rare side effects have been detected in 99 million people because of the COVID vaccine. Who is going to take the responsibility of that? And India is a country where for years, companies, peddling processed foods and sugary drinks have enjoyed relative freedom in advertising, damaging our health. And there's hardly any whisper from organizations like IMA. यहाँ प्यास बुझाने के लिए, cold drink पीने का ad आए तो कोई problem नहीं है. But we have a problem with the advertisement of a company that is rooted in ancient wisdom of Ayurveda. Of course, I understand that the Supreme Court order is a warning on their advertising policy, but here we are, demonizing an entire organization. And I would like to say on record that Patanjali has dared to democratize Ayurveda. It has made, herbal remedies and wellness practices which are now accessible to millions that were not previously, accessible to many. Those were priced out of the healthcare system. Now, let me ask you, some more questions. There are pastors in Kerala and Tamil Nadu who claim to cure everything from backbone injury, AIDS, cancer with a simple touch. Doesn't the IMA have a problem with that? Doesn't Supreme Court have a problem with that?
I question you. Mithun.
Yes, sir.
Mithun, I have a question for you. See, Mithun. We are practitioners of Hinduism. If we are Hindu, I don't know your religion, but if you are, I presume you are, then you and I are practitioners of Hinduism. But you and I and Rahul Ishwar, though he comes from very, deeply religious family, a family of high priests, we cannot claim to have invented Hinduism. Similarly,
nobody can.
Baba Ramdev can say that at a personal level, he is a follower and a practitioner of Ayurveda. But he is not Ayurveda. Patanjali does not equal Ayurveda. And I now want to go to Dr. Professor Sharat Kumar Agarwal.
Can I clarify
my
that
point is, you remember Uttarakhand's Ayurveda and Unani Licensing Council had in 2022, the Ayurveda Unani Licensing Council had told Patanjali to stop manufacturing 5 products on grounds of misleading advertisements. So this is not the first time. And Dr. K.V. Babu had filed a complaint against it, saying they had an advertisement in which they said that eye drops were useful in glaucoma, cataract and other eye issues. If any of these issues remain untreated, they can lead to blindness. So will Baba Ramdev, if somebody goes blind tomorrow, say, yes, I take responsibility for it because you bought my product?